Well, if you're going to stop for a pork pie, it might as well be where you can sit down and take in a spectacular view like this. Just outside of Greenhow village, this, and an incredible view into the Nid Valley there. Hey! Out on the Moto Guzzi V7 today, and unexpectedly, but very welcome, bit of sunshine has rocked up. So it has. So I thought, just jump on the old Guzzi here, go for a bit of blast, before I have to go back and take Eddie for his walk. And I suppose if you're like me, you'll have your favourite circuits, you know, short circuits, medium circuits, long circuits, places you like to visit that necessitate an overnight stop or two. But I have to say, when after a long succession of weeks, nay months of wet weather, with one or two exceptions, not many, days like this are very welcome. We are slap bang in the middle of July, out here in God's own county, and I'll just sort of tell you a little bit about one of my favourite little routes. So that's all it's going to be. I'm going to tell you where I am, where I've been, and where I'm going. Hey, there may be a bit of idle chautauqua in and amongst. So I have just filled up with some E5, oh yes, E5 Shell V power at the filling station in Pooling Wharfdale. Lovely little place just outside Otley, Pooling Wharfdale. It's sort of between, I suppose it's between Otley and Harewood House. But we've just hung a left. And this is the road that eventually takes you back into Otley, but we're going to be turning right here. And we're going to go over Lindley Reservoir. So there's a sort of bridge affair that bisects Lindley Reservoir. Lindley Reservoir, a bit of a bellwether reservoir, in the sense that if we have long dry periods, and I can't ever remember when that last was, hey! But if we have long dry periods, that's the first reservoir to show signs of evaporation. Because the bit on the left as we approach from this direction dries up completely, and then it keeps drying up to the right. I don't think there's much danger of that today, but I'll show thee. Aye, so this sort of general area up here is called Farnley. and it's beautiful. There's some naughty little bends up here with adverse cambers, and the occasional bend that seems to defy the laws of physics and tighten up on you when you least expect it. They're always a bum twitcher, them. I've done all that reading the bend and the vanishing point and all of that advanced driving stuff when I did my police class 1 training many years ago, and sometimes it works, but I have to tell you, sometimes it doesn't. The idea being that the point at which the offside boundary and the near side boundary meet, called the arrowhead, when you're in that situation, the idea is to make sure that the arrowhead doesn't come towards you, because that means you've overcooked it. So the ideal situation when you're entering a bend, be it in a car or on a motorcycle, is to make sure that the distance between you and the arrowhead of the bend is fairly static and not moving towards you, in which case you're going too fast, and not moving away from you, in which case you have some capacity to go a little bit faster. And that's how it's taught, the old roadcraft system. There we go, left hand side, still plenty of water. Loads. Loads. I mean, something wrong, wouldn't there, if there hadn't? Mind you, where Yorkshire water behaves, not a lot would surprise me. Yeah, so look, the height of the British summer out in the Yorkshire countryside on a classic, hey, Italian motorcycle. Oh, she's opening up nicely, this here 850V twin. And a typical shaft drive bike, because the engagement once you've let the clutch out, the engagement is immediate. There ain't no chain lag. It's had a very, very positive feel to it indeed. And of course, you don't have to maintain the bugger, other than at major service intervals. They're few and far between. And as we crest the hill, there we are, you will see RAF Menwith Hill, the old golf balls there, looking like something out of a 1970s sci-fi programme, like UFO, Moonbase Alpha, Space 1999, do you remember all them? Hey, yeah, RAF Menwith Hill. So it's an American air base. But of course, being on British soil, it has to be nominally an RAF station, and of course it will have an American base commander, a United States Air Force base commander, but I believe they also have a sort of administrative RAF base commander. I should imagine, I don't know if anybody knows differently out there, but normally RAF base is commanded by a group captain, a 4-ring group captain. I don't know if that's the same with these here American ones. Might be what's the one below group captain? Wing commander. Yeah, I don't know. If you know differently, let me know. Of course, my dad were in RAF, and he wasn't commissioned, because he went straight in as an engineer during World War II. Went straight in as a corporal. They give him a couple of stripes because he were a qualified engineer. And he never had any particular interest in making a full-time career of the military, but he did his 5 years worth in the RAF in the Far East. And when I was a kid, he used to tell me all the tales of daring do, but for some bizarre reason he made me learn and be able to recite all the commissioned ranks in the RAF, in the Air Force, from bottom to top, and I can still remember it to this day. Aye, pilot officer, flying officer, flight lieutenant, squadron leader, wing commander, group captain, Air Commodore, Air Vice Marshal, Air Marshal, Air Chief Marshal, and the Marshal of the Royal Air Force. Well, the Marshal of the Royal Air Force, in peacetime, just a bit of a ceremonial position really, because it's a 5-star NATO rank. So the equivalent in the British Army of a Field Marshal, or a 5-star rank, because of course during the Second World War we had Field Marshals like Montgomery, and of course the American Army had 5-star generals, where instead of having the stars in a row, because like it'd be a 4-star general, just 4 stars in a row, wouldn't it? They went in a circle, 5 stars in a circle. Aye, so not that you needed to know any of that. Hey, it's just something my old man used to like to test me with. What's closed here now? I don't know. Hollis Summit. Right, well that's pissed on my plans. Sometimes there's a good reason for doing this, and sometimes it's just ridiculous overkill. You know when they close a road so they can fix a little drain at the side or something. And health and safety gone mad sometimes. Anyway, I know how to bypass it. Oh yeah, of course, we're going to Paisley Bridge. Where else would I be going? Right, so we're up the A59 now. Here's a question. Are you an early riser? Are you a early to rise and early to retire person? Or are you a late to rise, late to retire person? Or are you one of them rare, hey, early to rise and late to retire? What sort of person is they? Oh, this is interesting. What's coming through here? Is it an abnormal load, or is it a VIP? Takes me back, that. Is it an abnormal load or a VIP or something else altogether? And is he going to tell everybody to turn round? Well, it looks like he's checking his mirrors to me, the police motorcyclist, so maybe he's looking out for what's coming. Normally abnormal loads, we used to call them abloads, abnormal loads, and they get a police motorcycle escort. But not so much these days. These days your police escorts tend to be confined to VIP escorts, or Category 1 prison escorts, or moving events like the Tour de Yorkshire, things like that. Yeah, it's on a BMW R1250 RTP. And BMW, I think, the only manufacturer now that make a specific model for police forces, not just the British police, of course. Here we go. Slow moving suggests, yes, big load. Yeah, and they've got their own private contractor behind. That is unusual to have such a significant police presence. Move over, yeah, probably a good idea. Don't want wiping out, do we? Hey. Now I reckon there is something about that load, this level of police escort, I would suggest, strongly suggests to me that what's on there is a bit secret squirrel. you see the way it was completely covered up, and you absolutely would not normally get not any sort of police escort with something like that, but you know, the 2 motorcyclists and 2 cars and all of that, most unusual. So the load, whatever it was, and it was a big one, wasn't it? It's something pretty sensitive. So I don't know whether it's something military, and I may be putting 2 and 2 together to get 5, but I'm just wondering if that road closure on the A59 there, which takes you right past the entrance to RAF Menwith Hill, is something to do with that there escort. So if you sort of think about it, unusually big police escort on something in the vicinity of a road closed off, which is the road to RAF Menwith Hill. So I'm going to hazard a guess, and I may be completely wrong, and I'm prepared to look at a total cock if I am wrong, but I'm just going to guess off the top of my head that that is something a little bit sensitive being sent to the American Air Force Base at Menwith Hill. Hey, things you see when you're out and about. Look at this, beautiful, isn't it? Hey. Of course, the American Air Force bases, of course, they are pretty much, they're a bit like embassies. They're American turf, aren't they? American territory. And it's worth pointing out that RAF Menwith Hill there is not an Air Force base in the sense of aircraft being based there. It's more of a sort of a listening and monitoring station. Oh, and if you're into your conspiracy theories, of course, hey, if you're into that sort of thing, that there load could have been a recovered alien craft. Hey, that's set a few hairs running, hasn't it? Oh dear. It could be another, what was that place in the States in New Mexico? Roswell. Is it a Roswell job? Hey. I can't think why any advanced alien civilization would want to visit Yorkshire particularly. It's not exactly the world's epicentre of cutting edge technology. Kettlesing. Lovely little village this. Now I saw that police officer on that motorcycle. They were having a conversation with the lead car, weren't they? I wonder if he actually told him what it was, or whether it were a case of, oh, more than my job's worth, sir. Can't possibly tell you. You watch, it'll turn out to be something completely innocuous, like a bloody great flour silo going to the local bakery. Hey! Wouldn't mind living there. Or there. There's some lucky people about, you know. I sometimes wonder what sort of jobs people have that they could afford properties like this, you know, worth millions, because there's no shortage of them. Or is it just a case of asset rich and cash poor? That'd be the question. Asset rich or cash poor? Well, he had a Rolls Royce in there, so I don't think he's cash poor. Beautiful though, isn't it? The way the light's playing through this woodland. It's thoughts of days like this that keep you going through those horrible cold winter months where it's very difficult to ride, if not impossible. If, like me, you live a mile up the side of a valley and there's some frost or ice about, it's absolutely out of the question to come out on a motorcycle. And not so much in recent years, but there have been years going back quite a while where you just haven't been able to get your bike out of the garage for a month or more because there's been a lot of snowfall and a lot of ice, and it's still hanging around, and of course it's always hangs around longer at altitude. And that can be very, very frustrating. And when you're enduring the agony of waiting for the temperature to rise a bit so that you can get out on your bike in one way or another, it's the thought of days like this in high summer in places like this that keep you going. I mean, the colours at this time of year are just glorious, aren't they? And likewise when autumn lands, don't know about you, I have very mixed feelings about autumn. It can be a beautiful, beautiful time of year. You get a nice autumn day just as the leaves are changing, and the light takes on that amber quality. Because of course it's starting to get a bit lower in the sky. And there can be some truly beautiful autumn days, particularly early autumn. There can be some beautiful winter days if you get a dry day with dry roads and that crisp winter sunlight that they are few and far between, aren't they? So days like this are very, very precious indeed. So that's it, I ain't gonna ramble on anymore. I just thought I'd bring you out on a little ride on this here lovely Moto Guzzi V7 of mine that I love to bits. A bit of idle chitty chat, so yes. Starting to sound like Frankie Howard. Do you remember him? Frankie Howard in Up Pompeii, Lurkio. City, not Mrs. Hey. City, not Mrs. Oh, Lurkio, eh? Frankie Howard, hilarious. I used to love it as a kid. Yeah, so I just thought I'd bring you out for a bit of a lovely scenic ride and a bit of a tittle tattle. And by surprise, we came across a police escort of what I am theorising is a bit of very, very sensitive military equipment for somewhere. I might be completely wrong, but I'm back on the road to Pateley Bridge now, so I'm off for a pie. And thank you ever so much for watching this nonsense. Today is Monday. On Wednesday I'm taking the CF Moto in to have some different tyres fitted. I'm having some Metzler Crew 4 50/50 tyres fitted. I had Metzler Crew 3s on my KTM 890 Adventure and they were bloody brilliant. And they just allow me to have a little bit more confidence when I'm up round some of the places in and around the Nid Valley where there's like gravel tracks and bits of grass and nadgery stuff, which I like to be able to tackle to keep the content interesting on the channel. So the CF Moto's going in for the Metzler Crew 4s fitting at Appleyards on a Wednesday, and they're going to give me a bike. Not sure what it's going to be yet while the new tyres are being fitted to the CF. So if that's something interesting, I'll do a review of it and bring it to you. Right, if you haven't already subscribed, please would you subscribe to the channel. Doesn't cost you a penny, not now, not ever, and it's dead simple. Absolutely dead simple. Just a click of the mouse or a tap on your tablet or whatever, subscribe to the channel, and it really helps me in ways that it'll probably take me as long again to explain, but it makes a big difference. Please would you consider subscribing if you watch the channel. Right, and therefore until the next time, and in the meantime, ride safe, be kind, and I'll see you.